Hashem.
The 12th of August, Rabbi Furst, Havos Halavovos.
Thank you. As we mentioned, this is Rabbi Shlomo First here, she would Sama. Now she Yerushalayim care of Zoom. As Lou mentioned, we're learning Havos Halavovos. I'll put the new doc. We started a new document. I see you might have gotten the document yesterday.
I got the new one.
Okay, Baruch Hashem. Okay.
All right, so let's see. It's Hachamisha V'Esrim, 15, the 15th. She Yashav
25. 25.
I'm sorry. Oh, 25, not 15. V'Esrim.
Right. Correct.
The Yachshav im Nafsho al ma she shaka ba me ahavas ha'avodah zara.
Is the Olam Hazeh.
I'm sorry.
Ha'olam Ma'avas Olam Hazeh.
Olam hazeh. Oh, olam hazeh. This world. Okay, so let's see what we got here. That he thinks if he
This is with an ayin. Ayin mem is with. Aleph mem is with. Im is if. Is ayin with.
with he thinks that with his himself.
Well, sheyachashish im nafsho. He should think to himself.
Think to himself concerning that which what is shishaka?
Right. Ma shishaka ba ma'avas olam hazeh. That which on how much alma shishaka, on how much he is involved in loving this world.
The giveres to tavase al ahavas halamaba, and hagiveres is a person.
Well, no, Hagiveris is the overwhelmingness of his desires for love of Olam Haba. Meaning, a person should take stock with himself and come to try and realize the discrepancy between how much he's involved with loving Olam Hazeh compared to how much he is involved with loving Olam Haba.
Right. V'yishtadal lahotzi avas olam hazeh, and that he is involved in
He should put forth effort. He should put forth efforts, right? Lotzi Avas Olam Hazeh Meliboy. He should put forth efforts in removing the love of Olam Hazeh from his heart.
from his heart.
Meaning we're in this world, right? Hashem decided He wants to create us into this world, right? There are many things we have to do, things that are many things that are necessary to do in this world, right? And there are many things that Hashem with his great wisdom, made that there are many things that we have to do are very pleasurable. There are many different pleasures Hashem incorporated into his creation of this world. But nevertheless, who says you have to love all those things? Right?
Right.
I mean, you don't uh, you don't see people, everyone's got to go to the bathroom, but no one talks about how much they love about going to the bathroom, right?
No.
Why not? Why not? I mean, you know, you go in, you feel good, you even make a bracha when you come out. You make a bracha, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
why don't people make a big deal about going to the bathroom like they make a big deal about going to a restaurant? What's the difference?
So I'm not sure I follow the connection between going to the bathroom and removing the love of this world.
Right, because he's trying to teach us. Take a look here. Like if you take an honest look at what you really love, you'll see that you have a lot more love for this world than you have for the next world.
Right.
Now, one of the reasons for that is obvious. The next world is abstract, right?
Right.
You have no reference points to the next world. It's all abstract. We've never experienced it, right?
Right.
So it's like, you know, let's say you would have a chance to meet a malach. You'd have a chance to meet an angel, right?
Right.
And so you get into this conversation with this angel, and you say, "Wow, you know, I know this sushi restaurant. It's got the best sushi in the world. You've got to come down with me and taste this sushi. It's the best sushi in the world." That malach's going to look at you like a little bit crazy.
Right.
What's the malach have to do with sushi? What does he care? Well, we know from when the malachim came and visited Avram Avinu, right? So they came in the form of people, right? And it says that even though that they don't malachim don't eat, right? But because it was they we learned derech eretz, like when you're the folk saying is when you're in Rome, you do as the Romans do. But the Gemara actually learns out from the malachim that even the malachim, even though the malachim they don't eat, right? But when they were by Avram Avinu, right, they ate, right? So you learn out when you're amongst people, and people, human beings eat. So even the malachim, they should eat because they're amongst people. They had no need for eating, right? So you could talk about, you know, listen, I want to, I want to, I'm going to show going to show the malach the menu for the sushi place. And look, it's even got a 20 shekel discount coupon. You know, show them the malach, hey, look, I can take you to this sushi place, and it's even got a 20 shekel discount coupon. How do you like that? The malach's going to look at you crazy. Oh, here's Mayor. Good morning, Mayor.
Funny Mayor.
He's connecting. Hold on, give him a minute here. Good morning, Mayor. You're muted, Mayor. Ah, there you go.
Yeah, I had trouble. I don't know why he came in with everything off.
All right. Now I hear you and I see you. You hear us
Great.
and you see us?
Yep. Yep. And I
Oh,
can hear you too.
very good, Baruch Hashem. Did you get the new document I sent yesterday by chance? I sent an email out.
Yes. Yes, I saw it.
Yeah, I think you sent me an email acknowledging that. Okay, good. So we're just beginning now in the beginning of that document, the 25th of the various different spiritual accountings a person should take with himself. And what he's saying now here is very. This is I think this is one of the most valuable of all the Heshbon and Nefesh. If we only concentrate on this one, I mean, they're all, each one of the 30 ones are crucial, absolutely vital for spiritual success, also physical success as well. Success in Ruchnius and in Gashmis. They're all vital for success in Ruchnius and in Gashmis. But of all of them, this one, the 25th, is central. So again, as if you just take a look at the beginning there, the 25th, it says, Yakshiv im nasho, a person should take account with himself. Alma shishoka ma'avis olam hazeh v'higboras hatayvosa al avis olam haba. A person should take account with himself how much he is sunk into loving this world and how much his physical desires have overcome and subdued his love for Olam Haba. And he should put forth efforts in trying to take out from his heart his love for Olam Hazeh, and Ligbar Avas Olam Haba Allah, and to replace it with a supremacy of loving Olam Haba. So we've been just basically discussing that when we mention this point about having Ava for Olam Haba, first it's very difficult because it's all abstract, right? We've never experienced anything. We don't have any reference points to relate to in terms of a loving. How can you love something you've never experienced? It's all abstract, right? Very, very difficult to do. So number one, it's very difficult to do. And on the other hand, the physical desires, the physical pleasures, which make us love Olam Hazeh, they're very strong. They're very strong. But when you look at it from a logical point of view, that's the whole trick. You always have to change, right? You have to elevate yourself above the simple, basic, experiential, physical relations that you have with this world and try and elevate yourself to a more seichelic, a more intelligent, spiritual perspective. So we were just explaining that it's a curious thing. We're talking about here about the love of the various pleasures that a person has in Olam Hazeh. Meaning, what does a person love about Olam Hazeh? Why is this world so beloved to him? What would you say? What makes this world so beloved to a person? So if you're talking about the average person, well, he likes going to the beach, right? So he likes this world because he can go to the beach. He likes reading books. He likes to go to the library. He can go to the library in this world. If you get a little bit more refined, so the person's love for this world can be translated into that this is a prize door, right? It's a passageway which is leading to Olam Haba. So, like one of my rebbes, Rav Shmuel Shechter, Zichron Bracha, he learned in the Mir in Europe, in Kelm in Europe. He used to say, you're probably both familiar with, I've mentioned this before at least once. You're both familiar with the place in Manhattan, Grand Central Station, correct? You know,
Yep,
Grand Central
yep.
Station? Okay. So the was it in its heyday, I'm not sure what it's like now, but it's in heyday, it was a very, very magnificent place. And even to this day, I think it's still the ceiling is is the is the panorama of the evening sky, showing all the various stars and constellations. Very, very beautiful. So a person he's got a train to catch. He's leaving Manhattan and he has to go to let's say he has to go to Edison. He's got to catch a train to Edison. I think is that where the trains used to go from Edison to Manhattan? They used to go into Grand Central. Is that, do you remember anything about that?
No, it
Dan?
wasn't Grand Central. They went to Penn Station. That
Oh,
was a
Penn
more
Station.
local train. You have to, like my grandma used to leave from Grand Central to on the train to Florida.
Ah, yeah,
They
yeah,
went to,
that's right. Right. Good, yeah, that's good. So, very good. So, let's say a person has a train to catch from Manhattan to go to Florida. He can have the, and so he's got a couple of hours to wait, right? He gets there, it's 1:30 and the train's leaving at 3. So he's there. I have various benches there. I remember even they even had pay toilets. Remember the pay toilet situation? Yeah, you know, if you didn't have a nickel, you're in
yeah,
big trouble. By the time you got to the newsstand and got yourself a nickel, it could be in very big shape.
right,
The the the, the pay toilets didn't take dollar bills; they only took nickels.
That's a long time ago, Rabbi.
What? How much is it now?
Probably $1.
Okay. All right. So in any event, so a guy he's got a couple hours for his train. So he sits down on a bench and he starts looking around and it's nice, it's cool, or it's warm, depending if it's the winter or the summertime. He's got that nice panorama of the stars up above him. He's got a newsstand next to him. He's got various different places to eat. He even's got the paid toilet if he needs it, right? And the guy's very gets himself very comfortable. He's got his bags there, and he decides he's gonna stay, gonna hang around. So he misses his train at 3 o'clock. 6 o'clock goes by, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Rush hour is over. It's now 10:30, 11. Place is clearing out a little bit, and now it's like 12 o'clock. It's late. There are not too many people left around now, and then you know he's still sitting there on the bench, and you know a police officer comes over to him. He says, you know, I'm sorry, you know, I noticed you've been here all day. What's going on? So I says, it's a very nice place, a very nice place. I've got everything I need here. I've got the newsstand, I've got restaurants, even the paid toilet down the hallway there. You know, I'm settling in, gonna stick around. He says, no. The policeman says, you got the wrong idea. This is Grand Central Station. This is only a place to move on. You're not. No one comes here to stay here permanently, right? It's only a place that's made for people who are on the move, on traveling. So that's likewise this Olam Hazeh is the same way. There are a lot of nice places in this world, a lot of nice things to do. But just because it's nice doesn't mean you want to stick around. You don't want to create and develop a love for this world. You want to be as far from this world as you possibly can be.
hmm,
The Gemara, there's a Tosos as well, explains that the Avos, Avraham Avinu, Yitzchak Avinu, and Yaakov Avinu, they were like Susim Rotzim Bebitze Mayim. They were like they were horses running on mud flats. That what's it talking about? The Avos, they were so spiritually pure that their relationship with this world was just the very bare minimal of what was needed and required for them to exist in this world. And so they were like horses running on mud flats. Now, if you know anything about mud flats, and if you know anything about horses, they don't mix. A horse cannot move in mud. Its hoofs get stuck in the mud, and it simply gets stuck in the mud. I remember as I was a boy, I was about 9 years old, and was and where I lived, there was a large the high school field. All the sport fields were there. Basketball, they had soccer fields, football fields, baseball fields. So it was a very big field behind where I used to live. So it had been raining for a few days, So finally, after the rains cleared, so the sun came out, and it was a day or two after the rains cleared out. So I took my bicycle. And one of the things I used to like to do was ride my bicycle in the field. Nice flat, and could ride my bicycle. So here I am riding my bicycle in the field, and I see that about 20 feet up in front of me. There's a puddle of water there, puddle of water in the middle of the field, left over from the rain the last couple of days. So I said to myself, that would be nice to ride straight through that puddle. Right. So I get on my bicycles, revving up, and I run and ran with on the bicycle, pedaling fast as I could, right into that puddle. And you know what happened? My front wheel got stuck straight down into the mud of that puddle. I was in that puddle up to my knees in mud, and the whole front tire and the handlebars were stuck into the mud of that puddle of water. So the same thing with horses. Horses, they can't move in the mud flats because they simply just submerge themselves and sink straight down into the mud. So the Havos were like Susim, horses running on mud flats, which is an impossibility. The only way you can do that is if you are moving so fast that you barely touch the surface and you just get enough traction from the surface to keep moving. But if you stop, if you go too slow, then you get stuck in the mud. So that's the whole point. We don't want to get stuck in the mud of the Olam Hazeh. And what's going to keep us from getting stuck in the mud of Olam Hazeh is an Ava for Olam Haba. If we develop an Ava, a love for Olam Haba, right, so we won't get stuck in the mud of Olam Hazeh, which is unfortunately very easy to do because there are a lot of tempting things and a lot of distractions a person can get involved with here in Olam Hazeh. And if he does, he's going to slowly and surely develop a ava, a love for those things in Olam Hazeh. But again, there's nothing to really love about them. If a person has to eat, okay, he has to eat. Hashem, and Hashem did us a favor by making it pleasurable for us to eat, right? That's what I was discussing with Rue just before you came in, Mayor, that if you would meet a malach, let's say you would have a chance to meet an angel, right? So I'm sure there was a lot of things you would like to discuss with him. And let's say in the middle of your long discussions, you're getting hungry. So you would say to the malach, to the angel, well, it's time for lunch. Let's go out to a sushi place, right? And you're gonna try and interest the malach in sushi. You say it's the best sushi you'll ever eat. And the malach looks at you like you're crazy. He has no need and desire, any ava, love for sushi whatsoever, not for any type of food at all, right? As I said, the malachim, when they came to Avram Avinu, they acted as if they did eat, but that's only because that's the derech eretz. Derech eretz, as the folk sayings goes, is when you're in Rome, do as Roman does. So the angels, when they were amongst people, they do like people do, but they had no interest or desire, ava, and any need whatsoever to eat whatsoever, right? So the ava that we have for Olam Hazeh is false because it's all an ava which is created because of our necessities of having these things. But really, if we look at it, the things that we have such a great affinity and love for are really only there because of the desire of Hashem to want us to take care of our physical needs. If food didn't taste good, right, people would have a hard time sustaining themselves. They become malnutrition and they wouldn't function properly. So Hashem wants food to taste good, right? And therefore, these physical needs that we have are going to be fulfilled through the means of the pleasures which they get from them. But that doesn't mean that you have to have a love for Olam Hazeh because of the pleasures, the physical necessities have associated with them. Okay, so that's what we have to think about in this Heshbon and Nefesh. Take a look how much we've been influenced by our love for Olam Hazeh, and how much that has caused a concealment and a subduement of our love for Olam Haba. Because that's what we really should love. We really should want to love Olam Haba. That's where we're going to receive the true, most infinite, and ever never ending pleasures. And that's what we should really be interested in. That's what our love should really be um, desirous for. Okay, let's continue.
Okay. uh, Aliyah behis tachlu be'achris shnei ha'olamim uma sheyeh sof inyano bishnei ha'me'onim. Okay, so aliyah, to elevate, v'his tachlu, I don't know.
Istaklu is to observe.
And observe ba'acharis shnei
Achris, the olamim. You should observe, right? You should observe, and actually sometimes istaklu is also, it has a connotation of also of scrutinize, right? It's not simply observing, it's also scrutinizing. You should scrutinize the eventual end. Achris is the eventual end. Shnei olamim. Look at the eventual outcome. What are you going to achieve in Olam Hazeh, and what are you going to achieve in Olam Haba?
of the two worlds, the eventual outcome of the two worlds. Uma sheyeh sof inyano bishnei ha'olam ha'ma'unim. And what is the end of the subject of the two? What is this word ha-me'onim?
Like dwelling places, residences.
V'yishtadol v'harchik ahavas ha'olam hazeh, and you should make an effort. What is harchik?
To distance oneself from.
To distance oneself from his love of this world, milibo, in his heart, ulkayim bo ahavas halam hazeh, halam haba, and establish for himself his love of the world to come, tamid, all the time. He should always be working on this.
Right. So this is the one of the major occupations that we're supposed to try and develop, and which is again to separate ourselves as much as possible from any love of Olam Hazeh, and to establish as much as we can a love for Olam Haba.
But that's not to say that we shouldn't appreciate Olam Hazeh.
Right. Definitely. No. You're right. 100%. Definitely. We must absolutely. We must appreciate Olam Hazeh. That's 100%. Sure. That as much as we want to have Olam Haba as our main desire, but it's like it's like you being on an airplane, right? That a person, let's say he's taking a trip to visit relatives and friends that he hasn't seen in years and years and years, right? So he gets on an airplane and all he's looking forward to is getting to his destination, right? He's looking
Right.
forward to getting to his old hometown, to seeing his family, which he hasn't seen in a long time, and friends and associates, right? And walking down those old streets that he used to, play in and whoever he were. And he's that's his whole goal, his whole desire to get to that destination. But he appreciates the airplane very much. He's happy that the airplane is functioning properly, that it's flying, that it's a pilot. He's happy that there's bathrooms on the airplane, and there's a seat to sit on with seat belts. He has to appreciate all those things, of course. But doesn't he doesn't have to develop a love for the you don't have to love airline meals. It's you eat them, but you don't have to love them.
Ukavar Amar Echad Min Achachamim. And we already have said, it has already been said by the wise.
One
Kasher,
from one of the wise. It has already been said by one of those who are wise.
by one of the wise, one of the sages. Kasher lo yis chavvaru kisavaro bikli echad ha-mayim v'ha'esh. That he should not. What is this word? Yis chavro.
It cannot be combined, right? It cannot be combined in one kli, in one vessel.
Water and fire. I don't follow that. It's a metaphor, I guess, but I don't see what it's saying.
Well, he's saying that just as water and fire can't exist simultaneously in the same container, right? You can have fire in a container and you can have water in a container, but if you try and put both together, right, you're not going to have fire, and the water you have probably won't be too drinkable.
Right? So what does that have to do with anything?
No, but just the same way, you can't have a love for Olam Hazeh and a love for Olam Haba. It's not going to mix.
Ah,
That's what he's going to say. He's going to say, see the next line. He'll say that.
kach lo
Okay, like
kis chavar belev hamit umin
I mean,
ha'olam hazeh ba'avas ha'olam haba. And similarly, you cannot. What is his chavar?
you cannot combine.
Oh, same word. Cannot combine in your heart hamit amin belief.
It cannot be combined. Belev hamamin, in the heart of the one who believes. Hama'amin is the one who believes.
The one who believes the love of this world and the love of the world to come.
Right. Can't combine those two loves into the same heart.
What is the significance of the one who believes?
Because a person has to, first of all, because a person has to believe in Olam Haba. He's not even going into he's taking for granted that you believe in Olam Haba. It's not even because you should know in earlier generations. Again, as we mentioned constantly, the Sefer Havos was written 1,000 years ago. Klal Yisrael there was no one. Maybe there were certain minimal factions, perhaps, but no one had any doubts about Olam Haba in previous generations. That wasn't a discussion whatsoever. So the person who believes in Olam Haba, right? There's no question about the actual belief of Olam Haba. It was only a question of where do you place your love? Do you place your love for Olam Haba, or you place your love for Olam Hazeh?
The Amru ha'olam hazeh v'ha'olam haba kishtei tsaros. What's tsaros?
Right, Soros are like competitors.
Kasher tirtzeh ha'achas mehem tik taksif hashenis. That when one wants one of them, what is taksif?
Right, that when one of the competitors is found to be has favor in the eyes of one, then it's taksif hashenis. The other one becomes enraged.
So just like you can't have fire and water in the same vessel, you can't have love of this world and love of the world to come because they're competitors. And when
Right.
one desires one, he enrages the other. I don't get it. Why can't you
Yeah,
why can't you desire both?
because if you have, for example, if you have a buyer, you have a buyer, and there are two competitors. If he buys from one, the other one's not going to be happy. He buys from the other one's not going to be happy. Can't satisfy both of them. So that likewise, you can't have a love for Olam Hazeh and a love for Olam Haba at the same time. It's like having fire and water in the same um, vessel. They won't um, coexist. Simply won't coexist.
Why can't a person love a really nice, thick, juicy steak and also love Halam Haba? I
They're
love this
shy.
steak. This is great, but I still love Halam Haba. I still want to do mitzvahs. I'm still eating for the purpose of surviving and doing mitzvahs, but I'm also enjoying it at the same time. What's the problem with that?
The, the enjoyment's not the problem. The 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 attitude towards it, the attitude of having an affection for it. It's just like I say, like that's how I started off. Like no one seems to no one seems to be so enthralled about going to the bathroom, right? You don't hear people saying how, this is a 5-star bathroom, right? Why 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 are they talking about 5-star hotels? Why don't they talk about 5-star bathroom? So, because they realize it's simply a function of their physical necessities. So likewise, if you strip all the 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 hype, whatever you want to call it, from the say for just example for the food, you also uh, it's there's nothing really there, nothing really to talk about. But we'll let's take a break here. We'll discuss. There's a big subject. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem. It's going to go into more details about it. Very big point. And it's especially difficult for us to relate to this because we live in a takufa. We live in a time period where the the desire for this world is so strong, and the pleasures of this world are so great. So so I have to try and put that in perspective because we have an exceptional um, um, test in this area, and it's also an exceptional opportunity. At the same time that it's a test, it's also an opportunity. But we'll discuss more about that tomorrow. Mr. Shem. Let's take a short break, and we'll continue on with the Mishnah Berurah in Hilchos Rosh Hashanah.
Okay, thank you, Rabbi.
Okay,
Very
thank you
good.
for
Yes,
the.
kayak.
Baruch She'eh
We'll
Meir.
be back.